Hello, and welcome to another day of English 2. I'm your online teacher, Miss Bear. As a reminder, we are working on an argument writing task about lab-grown meat. This is a National Writing Project unit. And so as a reminder, the National Writing Project believes that students should be ready for college, career, and community. So whether you go to college, whether you go straight to a career, or you do an apprenticeship and you're doing things in your community, that National Writing Project teachers prepare you for whatever role that you take in society. And so this unit about lab-grown meat helps you become a more informed consumer, whether or not you go to college, whether or not you go to community college, if you go to a trade, regardless of where you enter society, they want you, we, National Writing Project teachers, want you to be prepared for the life that you have outside of high school. So yesterday you guys finished writing about and gathering information from an article. Today is our last article on this topic. But here's the really crazy thing, guys. When I taught this unit in high school in 10th grade, when I was in the classroom, so many of my students went looking for information on their own, and that's perfectly okay. You can go and find any information that you want. Make sure it is a reliable source. You may want to bring that source to your teacher to make sure that your teacher is okay with you using that information. But if you're going out and you're finding information on your own about this topic, that is perfectly acceptable. That's what we want. We hope to entice you to research all of these topics that we bring to your attention. That is the goal of any teacher in America or in the world, to be real with you. So let's get straight in today. Today we are talking about the truth about lab-grown meat. Before we get started, we're going to look at the text structure, and I want you to know that we're going to read this article twice. You're going to read it initially by yourself, and then you're going to read it with a partner. If your teacher says you can do it with a partner, your teacher may say that they want you to read it a second time on your own, and that's up to the teacher that's in your classroom. But first, before we get too involved, I want us to look at, let me back up. I want us to look at the structure of this text. So you should have a copy of this in your hand, and at the top you see the title. Underneath the title is a question. The question says, producers say they'll roll out clean meat products soon, but would you eat it? And so at the end of the article, you are going to answer that question. So keep that in mind as you are reading and annotating this text. But let's look at the structure of this text. So each section is broken down with a question that starts it. This first section says, will burger lovers choose meat grown in a lab over conventional meat? And so they take that question and then they answer it in about 6 or 7 paragraphs. So I want you, when you get to the end of that section, to go back to the question and answer it in 1 sentence. Okay? So for each section, you are going to answer the question that is asked at the top of that section. So how many sections are there? So we have that first one on the first page about lab-grown meat winning over conventional meat. And then the next one is, how is clean meat made? And then, so is it really meat? Is it better for the environment? How much will it cost? And how soon can I try some? So each of those sections begins with a question. And again, you're going to read through this article, making your annotations, and then at the end of each section, you're going to go back and you're going to answer the question for that section. All right? Are you ready? Let's get started. All right, you have answered all of those questions. Now it is time for you to answer the first question. And what was that question? Producers say they'll roll out clean meat products soon, but would you eat it? So you're going to answer that question and provide 3 reasons why you would or why you would not. So let's write this out, and then we will be back together to talk about the yes or the no of this particular question. All right, you guys had some great thoughts, and I loved the discussion that was happening in your classroom. Now I want you to take a closer look. This is where you are going to read with a partner. You're going to go back to the first part of that article, and I want you to identify the claim being made. I want you to mark the evidence, the reasons, and the counterclaims. So you're going to come across several claims, not just one. There are several claims in this article. There are several pieces of evidence that this article provides. There's reasons that support the evidence and why it supports that claim. And then there are counterclaims. So you have to think about, what is this article saying? Maybe you look at it by section. Maybe you look, however you look at it, you're doing that with a partner. But I want you to take that magnifying glass and I want you to dig in a little bit more with this article. So reread and mark these places, the claim, reasons, evidence, and that counterclaim. Give you probably about 15 minutes to do that with your partner. You guys had some great discussions going on, and they were all on topic. Guys, I'm so proud. As a teacher, that just makes me so proud. So that is all that we have for today, and I hope now that you have some great reasons and evidence on why you support or don't support the idea of lab-grown meat. Until tomorrow, happy reading.